Hello YouTube, I'm Joanna, this is my co-host Tina, and we are crafting with Tina. For today's episode, we're going to make a friendly neighbor sign that you can put in your yard or in your front window or even hang on your mailbox. You will probably recognize America's favorite neighbor, which is Fred Rogers, of course. Just giving Tina her little snacks. It's Tina's dinner time, so I'm going to give her her licky mat. She likes that. So just don't mind those sounds. That's just Tina eating. So for today's craft, you'll want to first download and print the free PDF. I have a link to it in the YouTube description, and I will also post it to social media. And once you have that printed, you'll also want an assortment of colors, so you can make Mr. Rogers just any color cardigan that you wish. I am going to secure it into the front lawn, just use a couple, these are popsicle sticks that I super glued together. You might just rummage through things in your house and see what you might have. A dowel rod, garden stake, any little like hardware extra doodads that you might have that you could use to post it in the ground. And note, because this is paper, today we've got a rainy day, so I'm not going to put this out immediately because when it gets rained on, it will get ruined. So just keep that in mind before you post it. If you're going to put it outside, that you either do something to cover and weatherproof it, or that you instead just wait till it is a nice sunny day. What do you think, Tina? If she wasn't eating, she'd be agreeing. So here's an example of one that I started to make, but I wasn't really crazy about the skin tone on his face. It's just so bright pink. So I'm going to color another one, and we'll just chat as I color. Go, girl. I'm turning this upside down a bit so you can see as I work. Shouldn't be too tricky to color upside down since the lines are already there. Hi, Tina. I really like this red color for Mr. Rogers' sweater. I think it's a good color. What do you think, Tina? So I'm going to stick with a lot of the colors that I used for my first try, and instead of using that bright pink marker on his face, I'm going to use a little softer, more subtle colored pencil. And the idea for this came from a picture that I saw on Facebook of somebody who had put in their lawn with great big letters the message, "Hi neighbor." And I thought that was very uplifting, very friendly. I think that everybody's feeling a little cooped up right now, and one of the few ways that we can get out of our house is to exercise and take walks. So what better way to put a smile on people's face as they walk by your home or your apartment than to have a little message from Mr. Rogers, don't you think, Tina? It's pretty good. Okay. So I've got his red. You'll see I was practicing with a lot of different colors over here. I'm going to cut this out later, so this information here won't be a problem. It won't be in the way. Sometimes it's good to test out your colors because they might look different on the paper than the cap looks. Like this one looks a little more yellow, and then as I color, it's almost got more of an orange tint. So good to test out. Have a little palette started for yourself, right, Tina? I'm gonna give him blue. I was looking at photographs of Mr. Rogers, and I could not figure out what color his eyes are. Some pictures they look really blue, some pictures they look really brown. I'm sure my mom could tell me. She is a big Mr. Rogers fan, and in fact is part of the reason why I'm making this video today. She's been requesting a Mr. Rogers themed craft. But since I don't know for sure, I'm going with blue because I think they look nice with his tie. Okay, so we've got, this is a colored pencil that is a little bit more natural flesh tone. At Target, I found a set of pencils that was all flesh tones, so pinks and browns, some sort of softer grays and charcoal colors. And that's been handy for me because if you're used to using whatever, you know, whatever basic colors Crayola or other companies like that offer, you kind of end up using just one or two pencils for your go-to skin colors. And of course, as we know, people have a wide range of skin colors, so it doesn't really make sense to have that all represented just by one or two pencils. So I went to Target and I got these, which are from, the brand is called Handmade Modern, and the person who started the brand is the designer Todd Oldham. And yeah, just got a little pack of these sort of flesh tone skin colors, and it's maybe $5-6. It was a good addition to my arsenal of craft supplies. And you'll see here there's just a little bit of subtle color in his face versus this other one where he was starting to look like an Oompa Loompa because his skin with that marker was looking way too peachy. Still, we do want to give him a little color. I might just gussy that up in a few places, make it a little bit darker in a couple places so that he doesn't look as pale as I am. I'm very pale. Right, and then I believe when he was younger he had more salt and pepper, or more brown hair, but I've always known him to have like salt and pepper hair. So I'm putting in a little bit of gray. And I'm gonna leave a little bit of his hair white as a highlight. That's where you would see the light reflecting off like the part and the brightest parts of his head. I might also add, just a little bit of color onto his bottom lip there too. Yeah, there we go. Now he's got a little bit more color to his face. I'm feeling pretty good about how he looks. Little Tina just ran off, probably looking for someone to play with her. Now I'm just going to draw or color in these letters, and I'm going to choose some of the colors that are already in my palette and maybe a couple other cheery kind of childlike colors to augment it. I'm pretty pleased with how this looks. Of course, you can also add extra little decorations or your own flair. For the next step, now that I have this looking how I like, I'm going to cut this out. I printed this up on cardstock, so it's a little sturdier. And I'm also going to use another piece of cardstock as a backing to just help it keep its shape, especially if it's outside in the elements. Another thing to consider on a rainy day like today as I'm filming this it is. It's rainy. You wouldn't want to put this outside on a rainy day unless you have something to weatherproof it with. I don't know if you seal it somehow, put a bag over it. Definitely you want to wait till the weather is nice to put this out, and that's when most people will see it anyways. If it's nice, they'll be walking by your house. And another option too, if you don't have a lawn, you could also post it to your front door or to your mailbox, just anywhere that people walk by that'll make them smile. I now have my cutout design and then another strong piece of paper cut out about the same size and shape to go on the back to give it some stability. And then this is what I'm going to post it with. Just a couple popsicle sticks glued together. I have this handy thing, it's sometimes called a tape runner, that just, well, in this case it's pulling glue along. It's nice because it's pretty clean and it dries very quickly. This is just one suggestion of something you could use. Elmer's glue will work just fine. A glue stick. You could probably even do a hot glue gun if your heart so desired. I'm going to put this popsicle stick here, so we've got one side, and then maybe here put just a little bit of glue. The other side of it's pretty well glued up, so I think we don't need much. And then I'm just gonna try to match that up as best I can so we're not seeing any white overlap. I completed my Mr. Rogers sign. I think it's pretty cheery and I think the neighbors will like it, but probably not as much as they like seeing sightings of this little Tina here. She was just getting so sleepy she went off and took a nap, but she's back to say goodbye. Goodbye.